Bitcoin has been pumping, captivating the eyeballs from all around the world. Bitcoin's price kept rising and rising and rising. Everyone was at the edge of their seats, waiting and going crazy as we reach near an all-time high. But the million-dollar question is, will this pump continue? What's going to happen with an all-time high? When do we expect this thing to happen? And more importantly, is it going to continue? Or should we expect some type of pullback? In today's video, we're going to dig into some critical charts. Right here, peel your attention right here with the RSI on the weekly, just getting above this yellow line, signaling something incredibly important about what is about to happen next. We're going to touch on our momentum as well as price action, but more importantly, the Ichimoku just had this blue line cross above the purple line, confirming our double confirmation. Some major things are shaping up in the charts, and we are about to uncover it all. Welcome. I'm Steve. Here, we deliver honest, sponsorship-free TA with genuine value. Subscribe for a no BS approach that actually helps you. Subscribe. Welcome in, everybody. Bitcoin US dollar index, and we are on the weekly chart. We're going to be covering this chart and the Ichimoku, both of which have very substantial evidence that's coming into the charts as we speak. We've got price action. Above our charts, we have the RSI in the middle of our charts, and we have the Stochastic RSI at the bottom. Bitcoin has just printed this weekly candle, which you can clearly see it's enormous. But how big is it, and how often do we print such candles like this? Well, we've got to go back. I mean, if you just look at the body of this candle, right? The body of this candle, how big is it? It's over 20%. And we've got to go back, and there are two candles in particular that really helped us transform from this bear market to a bull market. It was this candle right here on January 9th and this candle right here on March 13th. Those two are the biggest candles along with this candle that we just printed, all right? In the entire bull run since 16,000, those are the three candles that have the most significance, right? According to the facts and the charts. Now, we've got to get to the RSI in the middle of our screen. This is major, right? If you look at the RSI, you first have to understand what is the RSI, right? The RSI is overbought, oversold. Right now, the RSI is at a level up here above 85 on the weekly chart. Okay, that's a hot RSI, which means that a high majority of people are buying right now. What you want to do is always focus on the opposite of what the herd is doing, all right? If they are all buying, you do not want to be like them in buying near these levels. Now, can Bitcoin go up? Of course, but you want to buy Bitcoin preferably when the RSI is at substantial lows, like below 40 on the weekly chart. You never want to be getting into a position when Bitcoin is above 85 on the weekly chart. Just looking at the historical significance of this level, there's not too many times in history that we've been this overbought, right? Just look, not my opinion. This is not a prediction of what Bitcoin is going to do. This is just pure cold hard facts. I know it gets exciting. What I want you to do in a bull run is not get too excited on the way up and not get too depressed on the way down. The people who really make money in bull runs are the ones that remain level-headed and look at the facts in the charts and follow a very particular strategy. All right? Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. So if you just look at it and you say, okay, we're up here at 85. Well, in Bitcoin's history, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times here, 6, 7 times here. Above 85 is 8, 9. It's like 10 times in Bitcoin's whole history that we've been this hot with the RSI. Now, there are good news here. Bitcoin did avoid bearish divergence. We had bearish divergence forming, And we challenged Bitcoin. We said, look, the only thing that Bitcoin has to do is get above this yellow line to avoid, null and void, any bearish divergence. And it did. We got to give Bitcoin big credit here because this was a major level of resistance and we broke through it, right? The first time that we got up here was in phase 2, and we wanted and we expected, not wanted, we expected a reversal in the RSI from here, just based on every time in phase 2 history. Phase 2, we got up here for the first time, rejected. Phase 2, we got up here for the first time, meaning in that whole bear run, right? In the bear market, we didn't get anywhere near this yellow line. When we rallied up to it, we got rejected. So the first time that we saw this yellow line, rejected. Phase 2. First time in 2020 that we saw this yellow line, we were rejected. Phase 2. 2023 came around and we were rallying up near this yellow line, and we said, look, watch out for a rejection. We've done that every single time in phase 2. Now, what is critical and what is very significant about the breakthrough of this yellow line is every time in history that we broke through this yellow line, it had a major historical significance for Bitcoin. Let's take a look closer at what it means. We talked about the first time that we rallied up to this yellow line, which on the weekly RSI is at 85, right? First time rejected, first time rejected, first time rejected, first time rejected, all 4 of which were phase 2 of the bull run. When we finally broke through right here, January 2013, that was the significance of this, was we just entered phase 3, okay? We did not enter phase 3 until we got above here. How about in 2016? What happened when we finally got above right here? This was literally phase 3, all right? So 2012, breakthrough of this yellow line at the 85 level was phase 3. 2016, breakthrough of this yellow line at the 85 level was the start of phase 3. How about 2020? Breakthrough of this yellow level was phase 3. Okay, so the significance is this is a major resistance during phase 2. When we finally break above, it's a sign to us that we have entered phase 3. Now, what does phase 3 mean? I'm going to get to that a little bit later in the video. I'm going to break down what you should expect in phase 3. Also later in the video, I'm going to give a heartfelt message. So stay tuned for that as well. Let's get to this stochastic RSI. The stochastic RSI is incredible. It is overbought, oversold, but mainly our momentum. All right. And if we look at it, we're just crossing this 80 level, which is very significant. But we had this cross up in the stochastic RSI. And anytime the blue line is on top, it's bullish. Anytime this orange line is on top, it's bearish. The stochastic RSI ranges from about 100 down into the 0 area. All right. Now, there's a significance with the 80 level and a significance with the 20 level. Okay, when the 80 level, what you want to see on the bearish side is a cross down below the 80 level. All right, so right now, does Bitcoin have momentum on its side? Plain and simple, yes. The blue line is on top. We have room to grow up. How much room to go up, do you ask? Well, look at the history and how long we can stay above this 80 level, right? If you look here, we crossed up at this moment and we came back down. In this moment, we were about 100 days above here. Sometimes it's a bit shorter, like our most recent run was about 2 months. So we spent 2 months above the 80 level here where we saw a big explosion in price. We still have momentum to the upside. We have not seen a cross down. What you want to look for if you're a bear is a short-lived cross like this. We could have a rally up above this 80 level, and then we can have a cross down like we did here at this point in the market. This is actually when we called the 48K mega crash, when the whole world said, Steve, you're crazy. There's no way there's going to be a mega crash. We're about to reach an all-time high. That was back in March of 2022. And you can see what happened after that. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. But you always want to go against the high majority of people. Whenever you see something in the charts and it's factual evidence and the high majority of people are saying there's no chance of that, then you're onto something, right? And if you're new to our channel, what we do here is we focus on the larger term, where you're going to make all of your money or lose your money. We're never on the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart. There's just no money in that, and there's way too much stress. It takes the same amount of time, energy, and effort to make $100 trade or $1 million trade. It's the same amount of time, it's the same amount of energy, and it's the same amount of effort. So if you're new here, don't focus on the smaller time frames, focus on the bigger time frames, and you can make substantially more money in the same amount of time. All right, that's why you just hit the subscribe button. If you're new, this is the place to be. Our channel is on fire. Hit the subscribe button. Now, let's talk more about this stochastic RSI. So we understand the stochastic RSI is our momentum. We understand momentum is still on our side. We have the blue line on top. We understand we just got above the 80. We also understand that sometimes it's short-lived above the 80, while other times it could be about 100 days above the 80. If you look at the history, right, that is kind of the synopsis of this stochastic RSI. We have the capability to remain quite bullish for a period of time, starting from this point and going forward. So as we battle the all-time high, is it possible that we could have an all-time high, and thanks in part to the stochastic RSI? Absolutely. We'll talk more about that later in the show. We've got to get to the Ichimoku, right? The Ichimoku, and those of you that are relatively new, you can go to the 2-week chart. You can go into your indicators and you can type in Ichimoku, and Ichimoku will be right here from Harry Potter, and you're going to plug that on. And when you're on the 2-week chart, you're going to have the settings look precisely like this and the style look precisely like this. What I did is I just took off the green line and I took off the yellow line because we're not going to be referring to that in today's video. It's just extra noise. What we're going to do is keep it simple. What I want you to look at is this purple line, right? You can see how the purple line throughout the bear market stays pretty straightforward, right? And then through the bull market, it starts rising. And then we reach another shelf through the bear market, and then we start rising. What we want to look at is how the red line and the blue line interact with this purple line. And if you look closely, you can see that this red line just crossed through the purple line, which we covered last week. What we wanted to look for was our double confirmation with our blue line crossing through, which we've just had. So this is hot off the press. Now, what confirmation were we looking for? Well, we said, look, when this red line crosses through, it has historical significance. Let's look back at the other cycles to understand what the significance was. We crossed the red line through the purple line right here, which was the very start of phase 3, okay? And we were looking for the double confirmation. We said, okay, when the red line crosses through, it's kind of our first confirmation that, hey, we have entered phase 3. We look for the blue line to then cross the purple for a double confirmation that, yes, in fact, we have entered phase 3. If we take those same exact rules and apply it to the cycle previously, we're talking about that 2015 cycle, we say, okay, the red line crossed through the purple here, right at the beginning of phase 3, and our confirmation of the blue line through the purple was here, literally at phase 3. Okay, so that's why we use those rules, and you can even go all the way back. The indicators were still catching up back here, but when we went back here, this was the bottom of the market. This is phase 1, this is phase 2. Blue line through the purple was quite literally at the beginning of phase 3. So when you take all, and that's, by the way, that's all the way back in 2012. So in Bitcoin's entire history, using the Ichimoku, and by the way, this is a very unorthodox way to use the Ichimoku. I don't think anybody else will use it like this, but this is the way I see it. These are the facts and the charts right in front of us, and I like to understand the phase that we are in the bull run, right? Not just, hey, I think we're in a bull run, you know, maybe it's strong, maybe it's weak. I like to know exactly what to expect out of each phase, and I'm going to give you a complete synopsis of phase 3 a little bit later in the video. Now, if we look at it, we can see that we just hot off the press crossed here. So we can say, according to the facts in this chart, that we have confirmed phase 3. If we go back to our chart from earlier and we talked about the middle of the screen, the RSI overbought, oversold. It's very overbought at the moment. We had talked about that, and we avoided our bearish divergence with confirming above here. This move above the yellow line in the RSI on the weekly chart is further confirmation that we have entered phase 3. So let's take a look at what phase 3 is and what should we expect, okay? And if you get into this and you're like, well, Steve, I don't really understand what you're talking about with phase 1, phase 2, we'll do a quick synopsis. And by the way, if you're an OG to the channel, in the comments, welcome everybody who is new. There's a lot of new people joining, getting into the crypto space. We want to help them. This channel is all about actually helping people, not selling them a whole bunch of crap, right? We actually help people here. So in the comments, I would love for people to write what country you're from and what year you got into crypto, and find people from a similar country to a similar, hey, I got in crypto in 2021 too, and I'm also from Norway, you know, whatever the case may be. I would love to see that synergy. And for me, as a world traveler, I love to see all the different countries you're from. I have personally been to 70 countries. I really want to visit all the countries in the world. For those of you who don't know, I've been traveling the world for about the past 12 years, basically been homeless, traveling the world from one country to the next. So let's get to these phases so that we have a clear understanding. What happens is we have the bottom of the market, right? The bottom of the market has these resistance levels, right? These resistance levels are oftentimes the support levels during the bullish phase, right? And this zone is actually the start of phase 1. As soon as we break it, we start phase 1, and then we build structure on top of that. Picture like a stair, right? We've just built the stair right on top. Right on top of our resistance from the bear, we built phase 1 of the bull, right? Phase 1 of the bull usually lasts between 100 and 200 days, and then we break out of that structure. Once we break out of that structure, we move into phase 2. Phase 2 builds itself directly on top of phase 1. Phase 2 also lasts between 1 and 200 days, and its market structure is built directly on top. Oftentimes in phase 1 and in phase 2, you see a retest of its base, right? Happen in phase 1 and happens in phase 2. Phase 3 is just more of the same. It's built directly on top of phase 2. It will last a little bit shorter. These phases are 1 in 200 days. These are sometimes 50 to 200 days, right? Sometimes they're relatively short. You can see phase 3 right here, right? So this phase 3 was really short-lived. This phase 3 went here, and then we had a very long and healthy bull run. The only difference here was we didn't retest market structure. We didn't respect our market structure in this phase. This was phase 1 and 2 combined, but it was very unorthodox, which led to a very short bull run, right? A very short bull top here, okay? So we built a very healthy structure in the beginning, incredibly healthy bottom, beautiful resistance, right? This resistance was the support during our most bullish time. Then we broke through here, holding this resistance as support, building phase 1 here. Phase 1 lasts between 100 and 200 days. We were right on schedule. And then we broke into phase 2, and we were right on schedule. We lasted in phase 2 approximately 112, about 120 days, right? And then this was our breakout candle, right? We haven't confirmed yet according to this chart, but this is our breakout. Our next one would be the confirmation candle. But what we see here is a very unhealthy phase 2, right? A healthy phase 2 is a breakout, a retest of our structure, and then a further breakout into phase 3. This is a very healthy bull run. An unhealthy bull run is, hey, we didn't retest this market structure. Okay, we have to wait all the way until the next bear market where we finally retested our market structure. Healthy, but very late. So here we are in phase 3, starting phase 3. We didn't respect structure. So this structure needs to be met at some point, right? More than likely in 2 years from now, or we could have some ridiculously large correction that comes down here to finally confirm the structure that we should have confirmed in phase 2. That would be very healthy. If we avoid this altogether, it may be a very short bull run. More on that as we progress. But what you want to do, first and foremost, when you are in the market is always do the opposite of the majority. Case in point, when we were down here in the RSI, Bitcoin was reading the most oversold of its entire history when we were down here, right? Literally, look at the chart. This is overbought, oversold. Overbought is up here, oversold is down here. We were literally the most oversold in Bitcoin's history, and everyone was screaming that we were going to go to 10K. We went really out on a limb, and we felt strongly that the bottom was in. We called the bottom at 15, 16, 17,000. And everyone thought we were crazy. 85% of the world was against us in every poll across all social media, but we stuck to the facts and the charts, and this is what we had to say. Roll the clip. The charts that I studied and the charts that I've been studying for years and years and years are saying that the bottom is in, and your wake-up call is, even if the bottom is not in, it is more risky to be out of Bitcoin right now than in Bitcoin, because there's a higher probability that the bottom is in. So if you're waiting for prices to dip below 10K, I don't think it's ever going to happen. So what we try to do is we try to go the opposite of the herd. We try to base it on the facts, and we try to actually help people make sound decisions. So luckily for us, a lot of people bought at $15,000, $16,000 when we were screaming at the top of our lungs that don't wait for 10K. Everyone was telling everybody to wait below 10K, and we thought strongly it would just never happen. So you always want to do the opposite of the herd. You always want to stay level-headed, right? Always stay level-headed. Now, what I want to get to is a little synopsis of phase 3, and then I want to get to a heartfelt message. So what is phase 3? You hear me in this video saying, hey, this confirms phase 3. And then with our Ichimoku, this was our first confirmation of phase 3. And this blue line through the purple was our second confirmation of phase 3. So what is phase 3? We had a visual representation of phase 3. But what are the rules of phase 3? What can we expect with phase 3? Phase 3, generally speaking, it flirts real hard with an all-time high. A lot of flirting with the all-time high. Or it makes a strong, strong new all-time high, right? You can look at this chart that we showed you earlier, right? If you look at it, right after phase 3, we're flirting, or right in phase 3, we're flirting hard with the all-time high, right? In this phase 3, from 2013, right? We entered phase 3, we were flirting with the all-time high, and we just burst through it. So we're either flirting hard with the all-time high, or we make a new all-time high. Case in point, our most recent phase 3 came up here, and we're flirting with the all-time high for a couple weeks, and then we just blast through it, right? So we can say that just based on the facts that are in front of us, the majority of the time in phase 3, 66% of the time, we made a new all-time high. Case in point, 2013 and 2020, both of which were a new all-time high in phase 3. The only time we didn't was 2015, 2016, where we were phase 3, we were flirting hard with the all-time high. What you can also expect is phase 3 to be relatively short. It's not as long as phase 1 or phase 2, but there are fireworks. What you can also expect with phase 3 is a pullback. Every time we've had phase 3, this was a 70-something percent pullback. Here we had about a 40% pullback. In our most recent one, we didn't have any sort of pullback, which was very unhealthy. So you actually want to see a pullback during any of the phases. And if you don't, it's just a sign that we are unhealthy, that the bull run will be a little bit shorter each time we do not respect market structure, right? So this is what we expect for phase 3. A lot of the weekly charts and the 2-week charts are confirming phase 3. The monthly charts are still not confirmed yet. We'll get to that in future videos. Now for the heartfelt message. So a lot of you may know, like, hey, and by the way, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. But what you've noticed is we don't have paid sponsorships here. We don't have paid ads on this channel. And I had to learn my lesson the hard way. And by the way, YouTube puts ads on everybody's videos and you have no say in it. There's no say at all. What I mean with paid ads is I don't take paid ads, no paid sponsorship. It's not, oh, today's video is sponsored by boom, 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 boom. And here's the reason. It wasn't always this way. Before being on YouTube, I was on a platform called Periscope, and my wife and I had the show there, and we had fans there, and it was really cool. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm never going to take paid sponsorships. But it came a point in time where I was like, you know what? I'll try it, but only with stuff I actually use and I actually believe in. I'm not going to promote any crap. I'm only going to promote stuff I actually use that I know is good. So I started doing that, and it got dirty. This world is dirty. They wanted me to say, these people who are paying me, they wanted me to say stuff that I just didn't believe in. And they're like, Steve, your audience loves you. Just please say this about us. And I'm like, I don't believe it. I'm not going to say that. And they're like, just please, we'll give you more money. I said, I don't care about the money. I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, and you guys are being pieces of crap. This is horrific. So many different brands did this. Steve, just please do this. I don't believe in it, and I'm not doing that. And it got to the point where I'm like, screw then. I'm only going to build stuff that I actually believe in myself, that I believe in. Build it that actually helps people. So I started with courses. I first built my courses, and people went crazy. It changed a lot of lives. And then people were like, you know what, Steve? Your courses may be cool, but I don't want to go through all the learning and the time of that. Can you just give me the answer to the test? So then I built the indicator bundle. The indicator bundle just gives buy and sell alerts right to your phone, right to your email. So then I made those folks happy, just providing pure value, right? And then some people are like, okay, Steve, you built these courses, amazing. You built the indicator bundle, which gives the answer to tests, amazing. But I want financial freedom. So then I spent 3 years building the Financial Freedom Academy to help those people. And then there became people that are like, Steve, I love everything you do. I follow all of your videos religiously. I really love them. I love what you stand for. I love the fact that you're not taking paid ads and all this stuff. But to be honest, I just can't afford your stuff. I can't even, and by the way, if you are in that situation, you can't afford it, if you write me an email, I help every single person with a pretty crazy deal, no matter what your situation is. But if you can't afford even that, some people are like, well, Steve, what can you do for me? I can't afford your stuff. I literally built a newsletter that's free, that has a whole bunch of charts that I never cover here, that has trade alerts that I never cover here. And it's free. So I literally focused my life on building stuff that's valuable, that I actually built, that's valuable, that actually helps people no matter what situation you're in life. If you literally can't afford $1 or anything, I have a free newsletter, right? If you want to learn to actually provide for your family your whole life, I have the courses. If you want financial freedom, I have the Financial Freedom Academy. So I don't take paid ads promoting all these random things that all these brands are trying to get me to be dirty and promote this and say this in a way that I just don't feel comfortable with. Now I'm in complete control. I promote only the things that I built with my hands, that there is no group of demographic of people that I'm not helping. I'm helping all spectrums. So that's why I do what I do. Now it puts it a little more clearly to you. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, throw a thumbs up on this video. This is our road to 500,000. Our channel has been on fire. Go share our channel with one more person in crypto. I appreciate all the love and support. It's been out of this world. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. This bull run is our road to 500,000 subscribers, but I need your help. Today, tell one person about our YouTube channel, how we spit facts, go against the herd, take no paid sponsorships of any kind. Road to 500,000, let's go.